All right, here we go. We are live. How's everybody doing out there today? My name is Chad Crenshaw. For those of y'all who do not know who I am or what we do here, again, my name is Chad Crenshaw. I'm one of the co-founders here at BulletProof Real Estate Agent. If you go to www.joinbulletproof.com, you can learn more about our company. What we do is we help real estate agents get calls directly from home sellers on Google, Alexa, Siri, Bing, Yahoo, all without ad cost. These are really some of the ambassadors that we have here inside of our company. Some of them have been here since day one. Some of them are brand new. And so what we want to do today, we want to interview them, not so much just about what Bulletproof has done for them, but we want them to give you tips, what they've done in 2023 and what they're going to do for 2024. They're all very, very successful. So I would recommend staying through the end so you can learn as much as you can through them. They're going to create some incredible value. So we're going to go around the horn real fast. Please introduce yourself, your name, where you're from, whether you're independent, whether you're in a team of hundreds. I don't know. You take the floor over. First up is Mr. Eric Torres.
Hey, my name is Eric Torres. I'm from Arlington, Texas. Eric sells homes, DFW, and an independent realtor here in North Texas.
How long have you been a real estate agent, Eric?
I am going on my 17th year.
17th year. Awesome. All right. Next up is Mr. Joe Robb.
Hey, Joe Robb here, Eugene, Springfield, Oregon area. Been a real estate agent for about 5 years and really just got my feet wet here in the last 3 years, I would say. So, yeah. So I know I'm independent. I have my transaction coordinator and whatnot. I actually hired my lady out of her position. So she now is behind the keyboard, helping me stay in front of my clients.
Awesome. Awesome. And you right now, Joe, you are the rookie here. Can you tell everybody how long you've been with Bulletproof?
I've been with Bulletproof maybe 2 months.
Awesome. The only reason I asked that is because your story is pretty remarkable. So, all right. Thank you, Joe. Mark Lynch, you are up next.
Remarkable. Perfect segue. My name's Mark Lynch, realtor, as you see here, Manchester, New Hampshire realtor, Southern New Hampshire for the most part. I'm licensed in all of New Hampshire, but most of my business is south of the Lakes region. Just celebrating my 5th year anniversary in real estate. I've been in sales 25 years. So a lot of background and just talking to people. And I've learned in this business, you talk less and you listen more and you get a lot further that way. So just somehow it works. And with Bulletproof is just icing on the top. So
awesome. We appreciate that. Welcome on, Mr. Dale King. I will have you introduce yourself after Matt Whitty. Matt, if you want to go ahead, jump on. People know you. Go ahead, take over the reins.
Thank you. Matt Whitty, Andover, Massachusetts. I service basically north of Boston, and we do a little bit in southern New Hampshire. And I have probably a medium-sized team of 9 agents. Been with Bulletproof for 2 years, and I've been in real estate for 14.
Perfect. Awesome. And I'm about 99.9% sure, but Matt, I'm pretty sure you were the first agent to ever come on board here. So it's we're thrilled to have such a diverse group right here. And the last one, Mr. Dale King, and then we'll jump into all the questions. Can you just tell us where you're from, the group? I'm sure you picked up after Matt. You know what to say.
Sure thing, Chad. Apologize for popping in late. If I have a legitimate excuse, is I had a buyer consult at my office that found me, guess where? On Google.
Perfect.
They're in town looking for a second/retirement home. Their agent up in Connecticut said, hey, I can find you a good agent. She got on Google, sent these folks my way, really nice price point. And I said, I got to be done by noon. And sure enough, we get to chatting and I look down and I'm like, it's 12. I'm sorry. I got to go.
No, it's awesome. I love hearing the story. What a perfect excuse for being late. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, my name is Dale King. I'm the broker at Vision Realty Group in Salisbury, Maryland. We're on the Maryland Eastern Shore, where the Chesapeake Bay is separated from the Atlantic Ocean. I also work southern Delaware, and been in the business for be 20 years this March. And I love it. There's nothing like it. Been with Bulletproof for 12 months. Nathan, there's a reminder. I was your last customer in 2022. You and I had a conversation on New Year's Eve.
Nice. I did not even know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
he could say if he signed up another one after me, but it was late afternoon on New Year's Eve this year.
Yeah.
I bet that was it. There'll be another one just like you here pretty quick in the next few hours, probably. All right, let's go around the horn. You can all unmute yourselves. I won't stop you. I'm not going to run these mute buttons. I'm just going to throw a couple questions out there and unmute yourself if you'd like to take over the reins. I'd love to hear from everybody. There's a lot of people here watching. This is going to get played over and over and over on Facebook and all kinds of other platforms. So feel free to jump in. So if y'all can describe, I know 2022 was kind of a challenging year. It was different. There was a lot of things going on. So just up in the air, how was 2022 different than any other year that you've had based on terms of inventory, rates, demand, transactions? Otherwise, were you up? Were you down? Just kind of, tell us how 2022 was different than previous years that you've had.
Hey, Chad, Mr. Bulletproof.
Yes, sir.
Are you asking it about 2023? How this year has been different?
I am. I'm 2023. That's exactly what I meant to say. Thank you, Mark.
I don't know if it's a trick question because 2022 was average.
I don't do trick questions. Sometimes I forget what's going on. I can hide my own Easter egg.
All right. I'm not that literal. I just like to have fun sometimes. But
yeah.
And by the way, I've been with Bulletproof about a year and a half, just to give you some idea of how long I've been using it. I think the biggest thing in 2023 is rates were higher. It was tougher to work with. I don't say tougher to work with buyers, but buyers really had things stacked up against them. Listings is where your business should have been if you could. And I was able, honestly, this year, I'm 50% over what I did last year. In most of the office, I work with 50 agents, about 50% are the same thing. And I think the biggest difference in this year was the amount of listings that I had. That really was I call it a blessing, but those listings gave you some play, some market share, some play in the market, and a lot of exposure too. And it's amazing. You have a listing of how much you attract referral or just people. So I think listings are gold. And since I've been with Bulletproof, I think the lion's share of the calls or the things that I've closed have been listings, which I don't know. I'm going to ask how you do it, but I appreciate it. But that's my 2 cents.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mark.
I'll piggyback on that, Chad.
Perfect.
Our area where transactions are down about 30% as a result of interest rates, and my business pretty much the same. I mean, I brought on a new agent in January, and her volume combined with mine pretty much equaled to 22. But we did take a significantly higher percentage of listings than we have in the past. About a third of my total business this year was as a result of Bulletproof. The majority of those were listings.
Wow, that's great. And you walked in here late because of another one. So that's awesome.
I'll jump in here. I got about 10 minutes before my appointment. So 21 is kind of where I jumped back into real estate. I did 14 transactions as a solo agent, doing all my own paperwork and everything. In 22, I ended up closing, I think it was 33. And about 10 months in, so in October, I picked up a transaction coordinator because I was working like 16 hours a day or more. I mean, it was ridiculous. So
wow.
that really allowed me to to jump ahead and focus on, you know, helping the client more. So this year in 23, same, just the transaction coordinators, really all I had. Just picked up my lady just recently. I like to say I retired her out of her desk job to come do my desk job, which is just, you know, help staying in front of clients, client care, because we're just client forward. We really are. And so we ended up closing 53 or 54 transactions as a solo agent, no team, no other agents. About 22 million, I think, was our closed sales.
Wow.
Not a lot of days off, not gonna lie, 7 days a week. I have a motto is show up. Just show up every single day. If you don't want to get up, show up. For me, it doesn't matter if it's a $50,000 trailer. Everybody needs a home. Again, show up. Go to that appointment. Put forth your full effort. So.
100%.
So one of the things is I had about 6 weeks of downtime, and I was figuring out a way, because with as fast as everything was going, I have a couple different lead sources that have fed me, but those have fell off, and my actual organic is about 50% this year. So I probably had maybe 21 of the other paid leads. And I really wanted to get out of that. And that's why I joined BulletProof. But with that, at the same time, I have a website, you know, that was built, but I never was using it because I didn't have any sort of foundation. So with BulletProof, it allowed me to start actually putting the concrete under the walls that I'd already built with my business, because I had no foundation. I was just, ignorance on fire. So with BulletProof, it's allowed me to actually say, hey, what is your presence out here in the big scheme of things, the Google world? And what it's actually done for me is allowed me to have that Google presence. I had 0 reviews 6 weeks ago. Well, that might have been 7 weeks is when I jumped in with you guys and just tried to learn. And keep in mind, it takes like a week or two to kind of get the ball rolling. And I now have 33 5-star reviews.
Wow.
I've figured out how to use my website. I'm not going to plug another company, but you can actually have Google go into the back of the website. You can track all of your analytics through Google in the backside of my website. And I've had 9 from Google in the last 6 weeks. I've had 9 people go in, fill out their information, and set up some sort of a home search or click a home that they liked that allowed me to be able to get back to them. I would say my biggest one to date is I got a call I had a lady fill out one of the forms, right, on the website, and it was for her home, which is 1.6 million, and it's in Coos County, which is 2 hours away from my little Google stamp. And she said, I Googled top agent in my area. So I do everything that BulletProof is telling me to do, and I try to 10x it as much as you guys tell me to slow down, which is kind of funny, because it's funny when you have people that want to do the work, and then people just think you're going to do the work for them. And I'm trying to do more than what you guys want me to do. So they're like, slow down, you're going too crazy. But she said, yeah, top agent in the area. Well, I ran a Google ad that just said top agent in my area, even no matter where you click it and search. So dialed it in, and she's like, yeah, I Googled you, and you were the first one that popped up. So after the first of the year, I'm going to be meeting up with her and getting that listing going live. So that's probably the craziest one yet. But man, I'm super excited. Like I said, I've only been doing this a couple months, so I still got a lot more to learn and to build on. But you guys have really been able to help me put that foundation underneath my business. So I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Well, I really appreciate you sharing that. And, you know, we tell people whenever we're doing demos for everyone, give this 6 to 12 months to take hold, because it is, I love your construction analogies, you know, digging the hole, putting in the rebar, building the foundation, you know, all of that. You've accomplished a lot in 2 months. I've had people call us and cuss us out in 3 weeks and want a refund because they haven't sold a $1.6 million house yet. So, you know, I love that you share that story. And you know, this program is not for people who don't have a little bit of patience, that instant gratification, go buy a lottery ticket at the gas station and expect to be a millionaire the next day. You know, that's not what this is. But I love your story and everybody on here. So we can go with, you know, Matt or Eric. Either one of y'all go next before we go jumping into the next question.
Yeah, I'll jump in. So for Bulletproof this year, it's about 25% of my business. I'm probably the opposite of a Disney movie. My business is down from 2022, but we also had a major emphasis on trying to grow the team. So the team is now double the size. We added a full-time admin in this country, and we have another admin in the Philippines. So we really focused on getting our infrastructure in control because we felt like we couldn't control the market. We still had a good year. We did over $30 million in volume, which is still good. But I tell the team, 2022 was fake and we need to get over it. And just know that, we have to, work twice as hard for maybe the same amount of money. So it was a good humbling year for us, but it was still productive in its own way. So I've been with Bulletproof, as I said, for now a little over 2 years, and the overall GCI. So I'll talk numbers just so people know, especially if you stay patient with it. Is mine's over 200,000 easy. This year I just checked, it's over 85,000. So if I said, you know what, I'm just going to cut Bulletproof to save money, I potentially lose $85,000 because those leads aren't coming in. And as all these guys said, they're Googling, top realtors in this area and realtor in that area. So if you're patient with it and you value SEO, as we all should, it's an amazing program.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. Eric, you got final say.
Well, kind of to piggyback on everybody else, I'm a big believer in Google, and being the top Google agent here in Arlington, Texas is key for me. So, my numbers are up. I think we're going to close our final house tomorrow, and we'll be at $15 million for the year. But it was a little bit different. Not as many buyers. There were more listings. Kind of weird story. I posted on Bulletproof last night. Agent found me from San Antonio, needed to refer his friends that were moving here from Lubbock. And, that ended up being a $560,000 referral that I'm taking out this weekend. Another story earlier this week, which I'll post on Bulletproof later, is once I get the listing agreement back, agent is firing his realtor. And he told me the address, and I go, that's funny. I know that address. Ended up being a $1.4 million listing. For whatever reason, he wanted to make a change. He looked, he found me on Google, and he goes, I read your reviews, and I think that's exactly the way we needed to go. She sold us the house, but we just didn't think she was doing the job for us. I'm in the middle of a divorce, and I need an agent. I live in LA. My ex-wife lives in Tennessee now. We need to get this sold. So, you've got stories like that, or stories that they'll call you, hey, I need to list my house and sell my house. Well, where'd you find me? I found you on Google. We're Cowboy fans too. When he saw you with the Cowboy mascot, and it's a great conversation piece. Another conversation piece about being the top realtor here in Arlington on Google is, I had a company reach out that helps teachers and say, hey, we have this referral we'd like to give you, but I don't know if I can work with you. I go, oh, okay, why can't you work with me? Because you're a Dallas Cowboy fan. And I go, well, ma'am, what fan base are you from? She goes, well, I'm a Philadelphia Eagle fan. I go, well, it doesn't matter how much money I'm going to make on this. I ain't working with you either. So, for me, Google has been just a blessing since I started with. And there were rough times. I was that client that called and cussed out Nathan and told him he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And he remembers those days, but we made some tweaks. We made some adjustments, and, we had an algorithm change this summer, and I had to go back. I went from 1 to 15, but we got it back to 1. And it was, sometimes you can't predict it, but now I'm back at 1, and that's all I care about. But for me, the key in 2023 was Google. I would say a quarter of my business, I sold probably about $50,000 worth of profit off of Google. So I am a firm believer of it, of what it can do for your business. But not only that, just, those reviews are gold. You got to have them. I'm sitting at 196. My goal is to be at 200 by the end of the year. I've got 4 days to get it done, but that is the goal, is to be at 200 reviews, 205-star reviews. And when I came to Nathan and when I came to Chad, I had 0. So, it is funny in the world we live in how many people read those reviews. Not just the first one, not just the second one. They will go a year into your reviews and read, how you are, how you treated people, how you act with people. And, for me, it's a great thing because I always have great interactions with my clients.
Awesome. I really appreciate you sharing that. And for us, we develop software, and I know y'all on a personal basis at this point. I know a little bit about every single one of our agents and their online presence. They're really good people, and they tell us they're very successful, but their online presence doesn't match the presence that everybody knows in person. And so, for y'all's all match at this point. And Eric, for you, going from nowhere all the way to number 1 to, I remember getting the phone call of, hey, what's happened? This thing broke. And it went down to, like you said, I think it was 15, depending on what you searched. The day I got the phone call when they reviewed your account again, you were back to number 1. You can't imagine for us how good we feel when we get the good messages, because you rarely get the good ones. You only get the disgruntled, upset, this isn't going fast enough ones. So these for me, since we do software, these are super important for us because, these make us feel, really well. And we get to learn more about the market, like everybody that's watching this. So if I can ask you, Mark, if you want to take the lead on this next one,
Ooh, we lose it, Chad?
Fake out, apparently.
I guess as we wait for Chad, I just wanted to say something, Eric, that you mentioned. I think one of the greatest things about the Bulletproof platform is the ability to connect with bulletproof people.
Yes.
Or the Nathan and Chad and other folks that are open and willing to help you. It's not a set it and forget it, take your money, and your calls are very important to us, and you can't get through to them. I can't tell you how many times I've had like a power session with Nathan or the tech folks of just helping, and that alone has there's so much value in that, and there's no Bulletproof doesn't charge you for that. That's just that, again, it just adds to the whole trust and the partnership feeling. So, sorry, Chad, I took over while you fell off.
No, you're good. I just my phone rang and it swiped me off. What I was going to say is, for everybody that's watching outside of Bulletproof, what is one thing that you're going to do in 2024 different than 2023 that you think is going to project you to having a more successful year?
You starting with me?
Start with you, Mark. You already got unmuted. You might as well take the reins.
You know what? It's funny. I'm such a supporter of the Bulletproof platform because it's worked so well, and it compounds every day. It's building and building and building. And I don't know who I had talked to, but I don't know, Chad, if I called you and said, I want to get, how much more money can I give you to get more out of this? So honestly, and 50% of my sales last year were a Google result, and I'm close to $9 million. And that's the most I've done in 5 years. And it's just, it's wonderful. So I think going into 2024, I'll tell you one thing, my pay per lead budget is either pretty much cut off. I'll tell you one thing. I love the Bulletproof knife through the Z, if you know what I mean.
I do.
I stopped using Zillow for leads. It just I was spending too much. So if anything, I'm doubling down on Bulletproof. I think the best way I can do that is to get I think interact with you folks more in terms of how you can help me with Google Analytics, Facebook ads, Google ads. There's so many things that are available to us that I'm not taking advantage of yet. And that's what my plan is this year, because I have not done any Facebook advertising, Google advertising. It's been strictly organic. And word of mouth and referrals is how we grow this business. I think anyone who's been in the business longer than I'm only 5 years, and I've had a lot of repeat business or referrals from that. And that only blows me away. It makes me feel good.
Awesome. Well,
so that's my plan.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Dale, I wanted to ask you real fast. Eric, I'll get to you just 1 second. Dale, I wanted to ask you real fast. Mark talked about, he actually did call and say, how can we give you more money? Our broker wants to give you more money. And I said, we don't offer anything else. We've been working on a lot of stuff that we're going to roll out in 2024. One is the app we're going to roll out hopefully fairly quickly at the first part of 2024, which will make everybody's life a lot easier. The second, we're going to be, helping people make videos and really get themselves all over the internet on a bunch of different platforms. But Dale, what would you recommend to all other agents as far as marketing your own personal brand out there?
We've been heavily invested in Facebook marketing for a little over 2 years. It's not as measurable as the results that BulletProof provides, because you pick up the phone, you hear a call from Google, you know where it came from. So there's the vernacular we use in Facebook marketing is called fuzzy ROI. It has to do with top of mind, retargeting campaigns, that sort of thing. But when you're constantly in somebody's feed and they're not transacting for months, by the time they are ready, they're saying, hey, I'm going to call that guy on Facebook. And that's probably our second biggest lead source. Anyone wants to PM me or contact me privately about how we do that, that's fine. I'm not here to be a commercial for that company, although I'm a biggest believer in them as I am BulletProof, because I've been with them even longer. So social media is definitely a big component of what we're doing. But I've been so obsessed with SEO, getting found on Google, and that's great. And social media, the bandwidth wasn't there to love all my sphere of influence like I should be. So another pillar of our business in 2024 is going to be being in contact more regularly with our sphere, and we're already starting to see some fruit from that. One thing I want to investigate with Nathan and yourself, Chad, that intrigues me is utilizing and mastering YouTube and how all that ties in with what you do. That's
perfect. And that is a perfect segue into some of the stuff we're going to unveil in 2024. Probably by the end of January, when you log into your BulletProof account, it's going to look so different and so user friendly. And there will be a specific category for YouTube that you can click on that's going to walk you through every single step on how to actually write a script using our AI software that's inside of it, how to post, all the keywords, everything that's going to be in there. You'll have it. Plus, we're going to have YouTube templates. We're going to have everything set up so everybody can take full advantage. That's what we've been working on for the last 3, 4, 5 months. And we're going to push it out as one to thank you. And it's, it's things that you've asked for, things that Eric has asked for. He's called and asked me a couple different questions. We're trying to get all of that knowledge put into a system to where if you want to know YouTube, it's right here. It's leveled off. You don't have to click on one thing and you have to filter through. It's going to filter everything out for you. That way your time is valuable. You don't make a lot of money just sitting there trying to scratch through the interface of our software. You make money out there selling real estate and making, giving brand awareness to everybody out there. So that's coming, and we'll send you a message right when we're about to launch it.
Awesome.
Eric, I know you've unmuted and muted a couple times because I cut you off. So go right ahead.
No, I just want to kind of follow up with what they're saying, guys. Google's always going to be the number one thing for me. What we do here, and trying to be in the top 3. Google guarantees the other one, Google ads the other one. If for 2024, I'm going to go add the other piece to it, which is the YouTube piece. In my opinion, if Google's the number 1 search engine in the world, the second piece to add to that is YouTube. YouTube is the number 2 search engine in the world. Coincidentally, they're both owned by each other. So, what my goal is to piggyback off of each other, that people that like to see the videos, like to see the commercials, like to see the presentation and things like that. And one of the things I've talked to Chad about is, having a commercial made, a small little commercial made, and running that through an ad type thing that I want to move forward with. And, but, for me, Google's always going to be number 1, the number 1 thing I invest in. And then now, starting in 2024, YouTube ads, YouTube commercials to be the second part of what I'm going to do for lead generation down here in Texas.
That's great. And
Chad, can I just add to that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
YouTube videos and all this extra things, Facebook things and all the tools that you have end up adding so much value to your profile. So if someone Googles you, being found is obviously step 1. But like, I don't know if it was Dale or was it Joe, when people look at your reviews, like what I do is I go like, let's go from the worst to the first. You really investigate. People get really curious. But when you're Googled, since YouTube is so connected is owned by Google and so Google friendly, if you have content on there, when you're Googled, it's not just your Google business page. If you look at the whole spread, you might take up all that real estate with your content, whether it's from realtor.com, YouTube videos. So the more people see things that you're contributing, it just adds to your status or adds to your credibility, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And, I use Matt as an example a lot when people start talking about YouTube and how important is it, because when you go search best real estate agent in Andover, you see Matt up here, then you see him in the map section. And then as you start scrolling down, he's the first organic YouTube video. So he has 3 or 4 different places on the first page. So if that's your search and if that's the criteria, everybody would want to use that as the poster child. Now, there's not a lot of people who feel comfortable talking in front of a camera because their eyes wander or it sounds like they're reading on a script. And that's okay. I see people whose fuzzy images go in and out. Nobody cares. They actually get to see you. They get to feel who you are. You create your brand awareness, because if they can't see you and they don't know you exist, then you're not going to get any business.
Yeah, if you're invisible.
Yeah, if you're a ghost, nobody knows you're there, right? So inside of the platform, we're going to tell you softwares that are out there that will actually put a script up on the screen so you can look at the camera. And at the end of it, you can hit one button. It will correct your eyes. So if you just want to sit there and read the whole thing and not look at the camera at all, right? And then at the end, you can hit one button and it fixes your eyes. You'll look like the biggest professional. So that will all be in the software that's rolling out here in January or February. Everybody will have that. We want everybody to end up, for better or worse, sorry, Matt, you're going to have to be the example, being like Matt that shows up 3 or 4 times. We love that everybody's ranking. We love that to see everybody 1, 2, or 3, but the algorithm, as you plug it in, as Eric was calling me and plugging it in the other day, I mean, it's just going to hold your position. Even when Google's algorithms change and there's nothing we can do about it, we can just adjust to it like y'all. As they change, the more videos you have in there and the more stuff, when the algorithm changes, you'll probably have a greater likelihood of holding your position the more things that you actually go out there and do. So with that being said, Matt, would you like to give your 2 cents on 2024's goals?
Yeah, thank you for your kind words. And if you had seen my YouTube channel 6 months ago, you wouldn't have even brought it up because it was so bad. I had talked to some of the guys at Bulletproof, and I had no descriptions on my YouTube videos. I had no tags on my YouTube videos. And just learning that was a huge, huge benefit. So it's not, as someone mentioned before, it's not you pay for a service and then the company just goes away. It's always, what's the next thing? They're talking about, Chad's talking about YouTube enhancements in January, February. I mean, these are some exciting things. And I know, realtors in general don't like to do videos. Some of my worst videos, the ones that I think are horrible, are the ones that went viral, that have nothing to do with real estate, might have something to do with like, roast beef sandwiches or something absolutely ridiculous. But it's really, you just keep cranking them out, and using the descriptions and using the tags that they recommend. And it's made a huge difference.
That's awesome. And a lot of the testing that we did before we launched a bunch of this, we took my son who's in the 5th grade. He wants to play in the NBA. Now he's in the 6th grade, but we took a channel just like you. We weren't talking about roast beef, but there's nobody searching for a 5th grader wanting to go to the NBA, right? And putting out those videos, it goes from one person watching it, which was his mother, and then a few other people watching it, to now 5,000 subscribers, millions of views. And it just worked itself into people's feed. It didn't matter what we were talking about. And so if we can take a 5th grader, right, and get him to where he's at with all these different things, and we learn, and now Matt goes from talking about his most viral videos were roast beef sandwiches. Now just wait, we've got it all tuned in, we've got it dialed in. And if you'll just click, follow the scripts all the way through, and you just start putting out content, the more the merrier. That's why we post every single day.
I think being consistent is the key. And that's one thing that Bulletproof does to my Google profile, is you're feeding it daily, feeding it with words, with posts, with information. And I think, Matt, when I jumped on board, Matt was kind enough to walk me through some tips and tricks with his YouTube descriptions and whatnot. So that was super helpful. But I think the key thing that Matt said is like being consistent. It's not just I'm going to spend 3 weeks trying to figure out what to do for a video, create it, push it out, and that's it. I think this whole industry is about being consistent, staying top of mind, kind of like a commercial. It might not be the right time for someone to use you now, but if you're gently top of mind and somewhat relevant, whether it's a boring mortgage rate comparison video or something a little bit more exciting, at least you're putting something out there, and a lot of people just aren't doing it. So, and if you don't want to be on camera, there's plenty of other ways to, well, you have the technology coming too. So that's wonderful. But I just want to say that the consistency is a huge thing.
It's a good point, Mark, to jump off that, is that a lot of times people aren't even watching the whole video. I mean, if you think about the videos that we watch, we might watch for 10 seconds. And I know this to be true because I had a video that was just about over. I think it was a minute long. I was in front of this house. It was really hot out, and there was no way I was going to do a second take. And I got hit in the face with a fly in the middle of the video. And I said into the video, I said, did anyone see that fly just hit me in the face? And I didn't re-record the video. And I got almost no comments on it, which just tells me nobody's watching the video anyway. And it's just, it's the amount of videos, like you said, Mark, like just keep pushing them out. You want good content, but you just keep pushing them out. And that consistency, like Mark said, is definitely critical.
Yeah. And at the same time, I think, and Bulletproof helped you, Matt, with this. I kind of realized, as you helped me with it, of helping you with your tags and descriptions on your YouTube videos, which again, I didn't realize how important these things are if you don't take advantage of like, do I understand them? No. Do I know they're important? Yes. And that's why I brought on Bulletproof, because I could spend weeks trying to figure this stuff out. and get nowhere. And so they've been able to take a lot off my plate mentally of things that I just don't know how to do, and kind of craft it towards my personal brand. So a shout out to Bulletproof for, again, the assistance I think they provided you with, helping you with not prescriptions, descriptions, and something where you don't have to start them over again and again. It's something that you can almost have automatically uploaded with your video. So it's a huge time saver. So all these little tips come to us, week to week. And that's why I love jumping on sometimes at these Wednesday calls we have, just to pick up some ideas.
Well, and we want, one thing that we don't do a good enough job on is letting everybody know all the things that our software does, right? All the different things, like we're talking about YouTube right now. And some people, like you said, they don't feel comfortable on camera, and that's okay. Just, for people who are inside of our software, it's going to be much easier to find, sorted for you. But we have the largest pre-programmed prompts in an AI suite that we developed for you. So it'll write all of your YouTube scripts. It'll write, if you're not comfortable being on camera and you want to do a blog post, it really doesn't matter. There's so many different things out there, whether it's Word, whether it's, writing, whether it's scripts, whether it's camera, it doesn't really matter. We just want you to do something, and it does have to be consistent. But if you have an assistant, we can get them into your software, and we can go to the AI suite. And if they want to add a blog once every 2 days, it's literally entering in your phone number, hitting go, your phone number, where you're at, and it will spit out a blog with all the keywords that you don't understand, that you don't need to understand. It literally splits it, and it's 3 copies and paste, and you're done with all the topics. They're already pre-programmed for you. So we're going to make it so more user friendly, so you can take advantage of all the different technologies that are actually in our system. The one thing, we really like to promote is, Google, because it is the largest search engine, and we do want you to get money, but all these little bitty things help bump you up to the end goal, which is you sell more houses because people know who you are. So, with that being said, what is one thing, Eric Torres, that you do inside of your business that you think makes you more successful than anybody else? Is it hard work? Is it, a little bit more discipline? Is it being, efficient with your time? What is one thing that you think you do better than everybody else that makes you stand apart?
I think what makes me different than the rest of the real estate agents in Arlington, Texas, is none of them use Google. None of them know how to use Google. None of them care about the reviews. If you do real estate agent Arlington, Texas, I think the next person in reviews might be 43, 42, 41. I mean, they aren't paying attention to that aspect. They're not really honed in on the idea of reputation management. And, again, my big thing is everybody is always holding this. When they want an answer to something, what do? They Google, whether it's food, whether it's, a tutor, whether it's, the thing is, everybody, I think everybody on this panel will agree. Everybody knows a realtor. Everybody knows a realtor. We want the people here that don't know a realtor. And that is the relationship we want to cultivate. So I think the difference between me and the realtors here in Arlington, Texas, and I think Matt and Mark will agree, everybody knows somebody. Everybody knows a realtor. It is a competitive world out there. So how do you stand out different? And I encourage people, go interview some other people. Here's my Google reviews. Please look at my Google reviews and see what you think. And you'll see plenty of feedback from my previous clients. And then you can see what type of person you're about to work with.
That feels good. That must feel good, Eric, right?
And it does.
I'm proud. I'm proud to say, please Google me.
Please Google me.
I am.
Yeah, and that's exactly who I am. And they'll come back, and I'm a little bit different from the other guys, and they'll come back and go, hey, Eric, we noticed a home buyer's rebate. Yes, I'm going to give you a home buyer's rebate if you work with me. ask the other realtor if they're going to do that. And if they don't, then so be it, and then that's where you kind of know where you want to be with and who you want to do business with. But again, I believe that reputation management online solidifies who you are in that business community. And again, everybody knows a realtor. It is competitive out there, but that Google reputation, those 5 stars separate us being the contenders and the pretenders of the guys that are not working as hard as us doing the little things with Google.
Contenders versus pretenders. I like that. I've actually never heard that. I like it. Anybody else have a certain thing that you think y'all are better than anybody else that makes you stand out? Or maybe you want to keep it a secret so other people don't pick up on your tricks.
I have one, and it's a big thing. And about 5 years ago, I picked up on this. I started paying for coaching, where I thought coaching was a waste of money. I could find everything on the internet. I could do everything YouTube. This in itself is a coaching group, So I look at this as Bulletproof is one of the coaches that I pay for. We are not employees of the company. We don't get paid, salary through Bulletproof or anything like that. We're here because we're all one collective group, and they were always trying to get a little bit better. And I have a couple other coaches that are, isolated to doing certain things in my business as well. So I think beyond the continuing ed that they typically make us do in all these different states, is paying for coaching. If you can't afford coaching, I get it, but get yourself into a group, whether, you're at EXP or Remax or wherever you work, find the top agents in that office and get into that circle so you can start to feed off of that.
Yeah, even this, there's been things I've already taken away. I want to contact you, Eric, and you, Dale, for certain things, and just not collaborate, but pick your brain and trade thoughts. So the networking alone is great, and I agree with you, Matt, that I truly see not just a live event on Facebook, but Bulletproof has a weekly, I don't even want to call it webinar, just a weekly get together for all the newbies and anyone else, just to trade ideas. And I try to get on there as much as possible to learn about the new things that are rolling out and what else I can do. Because I haven't even tapped into the tip of the iceberg really. And I've had success, had a lot of success. So that's why 2024, I really want to go nuts on it.
Yeah, no,
it's funny, and Matt says that because this is the first time ever in my whole life I went to a coaching thing, and I have never believed in that this year. But my preferred lender said, "Hey, we're going to bring you up. We wanted you to see the shop and do everything." So they flew me to Detroit, and they had Tom Ferry there. And I was like, God, I don't want to sit through this. I hate that stuff. I mean, I hate it. But you know what? He had a couple of things that I could use in my tool belt that were excellent, and especially touching your, from this coaching point that Matt was saying, he gave me something that I didn't realize how important it was at the time. When you're contacting your old sphere, I'm calling them, I'm talking to them, and I'm sending them their Zillow estimate on their house. Now, we guys know Zillow's regularly off, and it's kind of higher, and people go, hey, my house is worth this. But when you send that back to them, you open that conversation with them. Hey, I'm still here. I am still talking about you. I'm still looking at the property that I sold you. Hey, how's it everything going? And you just re-engage. So, that's one thing that I learned that I didn't really think I would take anything away from a national celebrity coach like that guy is. But, if you can get, even if it's once or twice a year, get that coaching, go in there, sit in there, and figure out a couple little things that are going to help your business to grow it forward. Because my response to him was, when I did get to break out with him, hey, Google's my big piece. And he goes, I'm glad you're saying that. He goes, and that segued into the next part he was doing, because, he is a big believer in Google as well.
Yeah, that's just something that I was going to mention real fast. Is that weekly coaching call that Mark was talking about. Not only do we go in there and we touch on a new topic every single week that you guys can implement into your business, but also it's just like this. It's networking for all you guys. Whether we got 30, 50, 60 people on that call every week, you guys have so many good ideas that maybe somebody like us, we haven't thought about for the real estate market, and you guys bring that in there. I know, Eric's been on there several times talking about different things. Mark's been in there before. They are a great system that we have that's a free source for you guys to not only learn what we're doing for your business, but also things that you guys can be doing on top of that, as well as network with one another. You guys have ideas that, so Eric's going to have an idea that Dale doesn't have, and Dale has an idea that Matt doesn't have, and getting that together and growing those relationships, it's great. So we love doing those calls every single Wednesday at noon Central. So if anybody's watching this that's not engaging in those, I highly suggest it, because they are great meetings every single week. So that is just something that I'm going to promote there just a little bit. But thank you for bringing that up, Mark, because those are a great resource for all of you guys.
And I think the weekly calls, Matt Whitty, is our coaching. That's how I take it. I jump on them to hold myself accountable, because a lot of times you're bringing new people on. This is how we do it. Go out and get reviews. But sometimes I don't know about everyone else. We get distracted, and you just get sucked down some rabbit hole. I jump on the call just to get back into, even today, I'm like, get more reviews. I mean, I gotta, that motivation of just other folks, and it's so I treat them as coaching calls for sure. And there's been plenty of times I've offline contacted someone directly, just, hey, can I pick your brain a little bit? So they're worth its weight in gold.
For those of y'all who are watching that really don't understand what Bulletproof's about, I'm just going to go ahead and say it real quick. Go to joinbulletproof.com. You could book a free demo. You'll probably be looking at, Nathan, myself, a few other people, Kevin, that all work here. They'll all give you a fantastic demo. You can learn a lot about the software. But moving on from that, we're talking about how important reviews are. And I don't know, we unveiled this in 2000. Well, we unveiled it this year. And what made this come up, we call this the bullet, and we actually mail it out to all of our clients. And if you want a free bullet that's programmed with your Google review link on it, go to joinbulletproof.com and you can request a free bullet. We send these to everybody, even if they're not our client. There's one right there. I love it. And these, the going through and sending text messages and doing everything else, doing it online through the technology is one thing, but these right here, this is for hand-to-hand combat. You don't have to know what your Google review link is. You don't have to do anything. You can walk up while you're having a conversation with somebody and tap somebody's phone, and what's going to come up is your 5-star review link. They won't even know why you tapped their phone, but it's going to come up and say, hey, while that's on your screen, why don't you go ahead and just give me a 5-star review, leave a note. They're going to have to say yes, because you're standing right there with them, or tell them you're not going to buy a cup of coffee till they give you a 5-star review. But we really have tried to come up with this. We didn't come up with that on our own, right? Somebody had bought a $30 card that does the same thing at a real estate conference. Somebody gave us the idea. We said, all right, well, that's a great marketing tool. It's great for our clients. And so, this is just another thing that we learned from y'all. We learned from our agents on how to move all of these things forward. How easy, we'll try and get close to wrapping this up. I know y'all been on here for a while, but how easy is it for y'all to actually refer Bulletproof? We have a great referral program. We didn't have it at the beginning because we wanted agents to have success, and then newer agents are actually piggybacking either on some of y'all's stories because they actually see what it is to help promote the business. Sometimes I won't refer a local restaurant down the street because I don't want them to have a bad experience. But with the experience that y'all have had, how easy is it for you to actually refer Bulletproof service to other agents who have a lot of respect for you and your reputation is on the line?
I think it's I don't say seamless, but it's a very simple process. that I've used, and I don't look at it as I'm going to go try to get 20 people to sign up for this program. I'm out there trying to sell houses or meet people and network and just do what I do. But occasionally, as I'm Facebooking at night, in some of these groups, every now and then someone will just raise the question, what's the best source for leads? Or what do you think about Zillow? And I take a soft approach. I just say, I've had a lot of success with my Google, a couple of different things. My Google searchability, it's been a game changer. I don't provide an affiliate link. I'm not spammy like that, but it raises a lot of interest. So I get sometimes 10, 15 direct messages. Can you tell me more? And I'll give them the link. I'll even give them my phone number. Someone called me yesterday from Alabama. She's actually, Nathan, you might have talked to her this morning at 10, Selena or something, but one at a time. And I tell them my story, tell them to be patient. I don't work for Bulletproof. This has worked for me. And so it's paying for itself and then some. It's very simple. I don't know if anyone else has a different way of referring, and I don't refer my backyard. Facebook is national. So Alabama, I'm not worried about. California, I'm not worried about. Bedford, New Hampshire, I'm worried about. But it's very simple. And you provide an affiliate link, which I have saved on my phone or my Word doc. Boom. That's it.
Yeah.
Easy.
Awesome.
Yeah, I find it pretty easy too. And as Mark said, not trying to be too salesy, but I've had 3 different coaches that I paid for in the last 2 years, and all 3 of them signed up for it. So imagine the coach is calling me to give me all the advice and all the things I should be doing, and I'm paying their salary or whatever I'm paying for that hour coaching call. And by the end of our coaching session, they've signed up because if you do the demo and you look at it and you start Googling Dale, Mark, Eric, myself, it's as plain, it's super obvious, and there's lead sources that are $300 or $400 per lead. And we know those without naming names, what those lead sources are. So to do something like this, and realistically, if you're not going to get a lead the first hour you do it, it's just not that kind of program. You're building up your resume, right? You're trying to, get a stronghold on the internet, right? You get listing calls, you go in, they Google you, and you're all over the internet. It's a really, really good resume builder. Even if you say, well, I haven't gotten any calls, the first hour.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Well, we are coming right up on an hour. So I want to extend again a great thank you very much for all of y'all coming on. I hope that everybody's watched this has gotten some incredible value. I want to go one last time around the horn. We'll start with you, Dale. We really appreciate y'all's time again. Is there any final, everybody likes to say can you give somebody a golden nugget, that one thing, this, that, and the other? Not going to ask you for that. I just would like for you to give a final word on, whatever it is that you would like to give tips out there for agents that are watching this in 2024. Anything that can help a brand new person or somebody who's been seasoned in this thing for 20, 30, 40 years.
Well, coming from a perspective of being a small independent broker, and that's all I've ever been affiliated with, Google to me is the great equalizer. It allows me to go toe to toe with all the so-called big brand names and actually kill them, at least on Google, and build our own personal brand as individual agents. So that's one huge advantage that you all allow us to leverage that. And, it helps get our own story out there and just getting reviews consistently, replying to each review. You all do, I'd say 90% of the heavy lifting. That doesn't mean the 10% that's left to us that only we can do is not unimportant. So I just encourage anyone who that's already in with Bulletproof or joins, hey, lift your weight. What little they ask you to do it on a consistent basis, because it does pay off in spades and compounds over time.
Awesome. Thank you, Dale. Matt?
Yeah, well said. I mean, it's been an amazing program. And like I said earlier, none of us are employees. And we donate our time because we believe in the program and we want to pay back, for everything that it's done for us. And I was referred from this guy, Chuck. I ended up going to the Red Sox game. And I know everybody hates the Red Sox. I think I hate them too, but I went.
Everybody hates the Red Sox.
And so for good reason. And I go to this game and there's like 20 real estate agents there. And I meet this guy, Chuck. I've never met him in my life. And we're talking and sharing some stuff. And he said, you really need to call this. He used to call you guys the Google guy. You got to call the Google guy, and I'm thinking, this guy's Chuck is crazy. Chuck is nuts. And Chuck says, this will be the biggest mistake if you don't make that phone call. And I'm like, relax. Okay. So I did make the phone call. And I thought to myself, I'm so happy I went to the Red Sox game, even though they lost and they're awful and everything else. But I always thank Chuck for that. And I think that's one of the reasons we're all on here, that we're grateful for everything that it's done for us.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt. Mark?
Yeah, it's definitely been a game changer for me. And when I joined a year and a half ago, August, I'm like, you know what? The first thing that was established was trust. There's so much stuff out there that we get hammered with every day. From out, we want to take your money. I talked to Nathan probably 3 times before, and Matt Whitty, asking your, kind of your take on it before I even joined Bulletproof. And I just felt comfortable. And I think that the best advice I could give to someone starting with it is, and you guys say this quite a bit, this is not a pay for a lead type of service. If you're expecting, like, I pay X amount of dollars, X amount of leads, that's not what's happening. I don't know if it was you, Matt, who said it, but it is building your resume, which takes time. If you think about it, you graduate high school or college and you have no job experience. You got to start somewhere. And what this and that 10% that we're doing really is just asking for reviews, just something that we're used to anyways. And it's okay to ask for a review from the mortgage company that you work with about how was the experience, a character review. That helps show the more personal side of yourself. And over time, it doesn't get smaller, it gets bigger, and it grows and grows and grows. So over time, the more people look into your Googleness or you as a person, they see so much more of how you work. And that's why I'm like, please Google me, because I let others speak, let others tell you of their experience versus me buying a billboard for $4,000 and saying, buy with Mark. He's the best. Like, where's the proof? It's all about social proof. And you got to, I don't say you got to put in the time, but there is an element of patience that just relax and it will come. It's not calls every day, but when they come, they're warm and they pretty much already like you and think they know you. So
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mark.
Credibility is what it's all about. Thank you.
Awesome. Eric Torres, would you like to take us out on a high note here?
Yeah, so for me, to end this off, guys, I mean, either you want to be in Google and be ahead of the crowd, or you don't want to be in Google and be ahead of the crowd. And I had my transaction coordinator / assistant that I didn't have the year before, or kind of run my numbers for me real quick. And numbers don't lie, guys. I did 48 transactions here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, which ended up being $15,305,000 in sales, which average sales price ended up being $332,659. And of those, 12 of them were direct from Google. So, I mean, the numbers don't lie. You want to add a different piece to your tool belt, and you're either going to be ahead of the curve and ahead of the other agents in your area when you dominate your area. And I think Matt and Mark and Dale will all say the same, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And the way I feel like it, I'm the man here in Arlington, Texas, because again, I hammer this point and hammer this point. People have a million options when it comes to realtors, but we want to be the go-to option. We don't want the person that knows, that knows a realtor. We want to be the person that they find on Google and say, hey, you know what? This looks like someone I want to partner with. This one looks like someone I want to establish a relationship with. This looks like someone I want to work with. And that is the best call of them all. Referrals are great. All of our businesses are based on referrals, but generating the new business is the key for growth and movement moving forward for me in 2024. And, I always ask people this, when they're asking, well, what do you do? Or, what's your secret? And I tell them Google, and I tell them exactly with what it is with Google. We all do the same things. We all have a sphere of influence. We all have the same things that they teach us when we first get into real estate, referrals and things like that. But Google's the next piece. And for me in 2024, YouTube's going to be the bigger piece of it to get my numbers from the 48, and I just set my goals and I told my lending team and everything, okay, we're going to go from 48 and let's get into the 60s now, and just keep pushing yourself, keep bettering yourself and adding one piece to the puzzle. I have Google. Now let's do it with the YouTube part that we're going to introduce and go from there.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Eric. And again, lastly, thank you everyone again for jumping on. Nobody here got paid to be on here. We're an hour and 6 minutes into this, and the value, in my opinion, was incredible. It was incredible for myself to learn everything about what this is doing for your company. I hope it was valuable. It could not have been for everybody that just watched this. If you'd like to know more about Bulletproof, I'm sure we're going to put a link below. Not my job. Somebody will probably do it. Go to joinbulletproof.com if you'd like to get a free demo. If you would like one of these free bullets so we can help you grow your business, even if you don't partner with us, go to joinbulletproof.com, get a free bullet. Really invest in yourself in 2024. And there's a little bit of time left, so there can be another Dale King. Dale King, last one of the year, 2022. So now we're looking for another Dale King at the end of 2023. Thank you all very much. I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. Looking forward to a tremendous 2024. Hope y'all have a blessed day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, have a good 2024. If you need me, you let me know.
Thanks, Eric.
Uh-huh.